Let's chat about that dang scale. How many times have you felt really good about yourself and your progress, and then you hop on the scale and get frustrated and discouraged? You feel like all of that hard work was for nothing, and then you just want to give up because what's the point? You start having thoughts like, why am I trying so hard if this isn't even doing anything? Well, I'm here to help you heal your relationship with the scale so it never has that power over you again. First off, let's talk about why women struggle with the scale in the first place. We have so much pressure to put our worth on that silly little number that pops up on the scale. So we have this deep-rooted emotional connection to whatever that number says, and we are taught certain behaviors around what the number is showing. So if it's heavier than we expected, sometimes we will not eat as much the next day or add more cardio. Or maybe you have felt really good about yourself and your healthy habits, and then you hop on the scale and it hasn't moved. Instantly, what do? You start feeling bad about yourself, you feel discouraged, you feel like it's not working, all because of that little number. Usually, when we hop on the scale, we give way too much power to whatever it says. And I want to help educate you on the importance of knowing that that number on the scale is not actually the best indicator on if you're making progress or if you're healthy or if you have muscle mass or if you've lost body fat percentage. There are way better ways to focus on your progress than just the scale. For example, if you focus on your daily habits, your measurements, how you fit in your clothes, maybe you're lifting heavier than you've ever lifted before and you have amazing strength gains, maybe your cardio is getting better. There are so many other ways to measure success besides just the scale. I want to share a quick story with you of something that happened with me because I got stuck in this even as a personal trainer, even though I know better. We are all human and sometimes it gets the better of us. But after I had my third baby, Mila, I had some hormonal issues and I have never worked so hard to lose weight in my life and nothing was happening. The scale was not moving. I got really frustrated. I started doing more extreme to try to get my body to respond. That ended up just making my hormone issue worse. And so I actually had to reverse diet. So I had to add more calories into my diet, add more fat, stop working out as much, and give my body a break. And once I healed my hormones and stopped putting so much pressure on myself, guess what happened? My body started to respond. But here's the funny thing. I lost 7% body fat and I weighed the exact same weight. So I looked completely different. I had lost body fat, gained muscle, my clothes fit better, my before and afters looked better, but the weight on the scale stayed the same. So if I was judging my success off of that little number, I would feel like a failure. But because I know I have to look at other factors like how I fit in my clothes and my measurements and my before and afters, my daily mental wins, my daily habits, I did feel successful and I was really, really proud of myself because you have to remember that muscle does weigh more than fat. So even if your body is changing, the scale number could stay the same. A lot of women will have this idealistic number in their head. For example, a client will come to me and say, I want to weigh 125 pounds. And I'm like, okay, well, why is that specific number so important to you? And a lot of times they think, oh, well, I was confident at that number, or that's how much I weighed when I was in high school, or that's how much I weighed pre-baby. And so the first thing I do is I tell them to throw that goal number out the window and focus on how do you want to look, how do you want to feel, and what body fat percentage would you like to be? Because maybe you'll look better at 130 than you did at 125. So you might not ever be able to achieve that dream body because you are so scared of weighing 5 pounds more. But no one knows how much you weigh, so it shouldn't matter, right? So let's talk about what's happening with the scale. Like I said before, the scale only measures how much you weigh. It doesn't really care if you're a sack of potatoes or if you're a person, right? This is just solely on how much you weigh. When I was competing, I was busting my butt, hours in the gym, meal prepping for months. And for 8 weeks, I didn't lose 1 pound, not 1 pound, but I lost like 7% body fat in that amount of time because I was being so diligent. But the scale wasn't budging. And I kept telling my coach, I'm so frustrated, I'm not losing weight. And he's like, well, why do you care how much you weigh? You've lost 7% body fat. I'm like, oh yeah. So even I did that, competing after Mila. Like, the scale doesn't know body recomposition. And that's where you're going to see the biggest change. And that's actually where you're going to be the happiest. So what's happening in your body when you fluctuate day to day? So sometimes, let's say you wake up and you weigh 3 pounds heavier than you did the day before, and you freak out. You're like, oh my gosh, I gained 3 pounds overweight. It's actually impossible for you to gain 3 pounds of fat overnight because 1 pound is 3,500 calories. So unless you're eating 3,500 calories times 3, there is no way that you gained 3 pounds of fat overnight. It's most likely water weight. So maybe you had a cheat meal and your body has extra glucose. Every cell that has extra glucose is going to retain more water. So it's actually water weight. It's actually not fat if you gain 3 pounds overnight. So you can relax. You can just go back to eating your healthy, normal way that you eat, and it should fall off in a day or 2. Now, what happens when you gain a few pounds on your period? Again, you're having a hormonal shift. I will gain up to 4 pounds on my period, and I'm not eating any differently. So your hormones are shifting. Your body is retaining a lot more water than you're used to, and that's where the weight is coming from. So don't freak out there. What happens when you gain a few pounds after you start lifting heavy, like a leg day? This always gets my clients. I inevitably will have one client say, I can't lift anymore because I gained 2 pounds after leg day. Well, this is actually super fascinating what your body does. When you do a really heavy workout, you actually make small tears in your muscle fibers. And in order for them to build and repair stronger, your body retains water and recruits water into the cells to help you repair quicker. So it's actually an amazing thing. If you lift heavy, expect to have 1 or 2 pounds of water weight the next day. It will fall off. Who cares? Your body's amazing. It's doing what it's meant to do. Let's talk about if you have anxiety around the scale. Why is that? Anytime you have anxiety around a situation or a thing, it's because you're trying to control something that you can't always control. And you can't always control the number on the scale. Sometimes you can and sometimes you can't, depending on hormones or depending on, like I said, water retention. So you have to let that go. Instead, I want you to focus on, again, the things that you can control. So let's recap. You have your daily habits, your nutrition, your workouts, your mentality around food, how you see your body, your mental health, like meditating, focusing on your daily mental wins. I do this a lot with my clients. If they ever feel like they are a failure or if they feel like their progress isn't quick enough, I remind them like, hey, you have hit all of your daily mental wins this week. Like, you're being successful. This is amazing. And then it changes the whole energy for them. Another thing that you do have control over that you can focus on is your relationship with your food. That's everything, right? So I want you to focus on the input instead of the output, and that's what will help your relationship with the scale. Let's dive just a little deeper. If you have a solid foundation of your worth and who you are, the scale starts losing its power. If you know that you are more than that little number, you'll start to see yourself as this powerful creator of your life. You can focus on all the things you love about yourself instead of the scale number. If you enjoyed this video, you can check out my next video, what to do when you are losing motivation. I'm BodyByBree. Thank you for joining me to create the healthiest, happiest version of yourself, and I will see you back here next time.